You ready? Yep, go ahead. So, I'm not gonna call this meeting to order. I just want for, public record here that, we've had a couple people call out, Ms. Bergdorf, Mr. Palmer was not able to make it, and Mr. Becker is not able to make it, so we're not.
And
gonna
Ms.
have-
Boyd.
And Ms. Boyd. So we're not gonna have quorum. What we're gonna discuss is, when we will reschedule. I'm fine to leave it running, or we can just kind of discuss it, but bottom line is after today, we will have a new date and time for this meeting. So I think we can kill
So
it.
you want to do it 5:30 on the
Night of the commission meetings, didn't you have a problem with that? 5:30? 5:30, night of the commission meeting.
We've got a 6 o'clock and a 6:30.
6 o'clock for what?
I think com on comms, and then 6:30 is education.
Is there any overlap with committee on committees and, like with, you're on both?
I'm on both.
Is anybody else on both?
Dylan.
Oh, yeah, okay, so we.
You guys want to try 5 to 6?
We can do 5 to 6. Can y'all do 5 to 6?
Come in at noon.
5 to 6.
Come in at
5 to 6. Are we good with 5 to 6?
If you don't
All
run
right.
over, yeah.
We'll put it at 5 to 6 and we'll just go fast.
And then since we're not actually having a meeting, just a workshop with no discussion, probably, and Eric's attorney, we probably need to talk about the budget calendar because of what we found when we were looking about
Yeah.
selling the property. Because we ran into an issue. Okay?
Yeah, that you called.
Let's talk about the budget calendar, okay? The budget calendar I had prepared to you, there's two things. These are the TCAs. The TACA says if you operate under a private act or adopt a calendar, you can do it a little different. We haven't adopted one for legislative body. Our private act,
I just want to be clear, we're taking no action today.
No,
Right? This is
no.
informational only.
this is where you
And
can
we're leaving it-
disseminate.
And we're leaving it running. Right.
Okay, so when it says you can operate under a private act or adopt a local calendar, something separate, okay? So we're looking under our private act, has the March 1 date and the June, so we've got these here, we can keep shifting them. Well, Eric was, there's a discussion of selling the property. Eric made a very specific question of me, at one time the county was under the 1981 Act. He says, does it any way apply? My understanding was at the time what we were told by legal and audit's been going on the same assumption, that when we adopted the 2012 Act, it repealed the 1981 Act. He started looking at the 1981 Act, showed it to me, called county technical assistant. The 1981 Act specifically says certain things, and I'm not gonna say it verbatim. Paraphrase it. At the top, it says it repeals the 2002, the 2003, and any mandatory private acts thereof. It comes under the actual implementation, and the only thing it says is it does the 2002, 2003, and any other private acts.
We need to point something out here.
The
There's a
local-
private act and then there's the public act.
Or local optional law. The 1981 is a public act and a local optional law, so the underlying assumption that we had from legal at the time and our understanding was this, Eric, to verify, contacted county technical, and their 2 points were, number one, is the private act doesn't say that, they didn't really go into that. Their point is the 1981 itself has a very specific repeal process with a 2/3 vote. There was never a repeal process. So right now, and I only bring it up because I think we are, the 1981, as far as your budget law right now, will trump the 2012. So this is the way to work. You go with the most restrictive, but if you conflict with the 81, it will trump it right now. The 81 says this, so I think you're still.
So just to be clear here, because I know we're going super fast, we are,
Under
or
both.
should be under the 1981 Act because it was never,
For budget purposes.
because it was never repealed.
You're under
It's
both.
not that, you're under
Well, I know that
both.
You're under
you're
most
both.
restrictive,
You're under
non-conflicting
both.
of both. It's a mess.
But the 1981
Will trump.
Trump.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
let's go into what your 1981 says. Your 1981 says pretty close to this same time schedule in the general law, but it has the same out. It has a different out. It says if the county legislative body adopts a timeline and budget procedures for the county, or if shall be in accordance with, or otherwise, in other words, you can adopt a time schedule, or you have to follow this verbatim. If the legislature adopts the budgetary procedure, or if the county operates pursuant, I'm sorry, I'm under the general law, that's why I'm so confused. Here we go. Sorry, that was what I was reading you earlier. The local optional law says, in the absence of a locally adopted calendar, the procedure per section A of the budget procedure shall be as follows. And it goes into, the one we're running up to is, no later than April 1, the county budget committee shall vote on proposed budget, and the director shall notify the department and the commission of all. So basically,
No,
if you
this
don't
month.
have a
Yeah,
calendar, if this month you don't adopt a calendar, then April 1st, before April 1st, you're supposed to have your first set of hearings. So my thing is, we probably want to take this calendar, move some of these dates forward to have something for you on the floor Monday, or otherwise you're gonna pass to April 1st. Is there a real penalty for it? No, but you probably want to try to follow it if you can.
Well, at least we can get the first shop up there. I mean, it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, we're moving things up a lot.
So the two easy things you've got to do, one thing you got to do.
The only thing I don't like about this, just for the record, is that like, and I know that the departments have already scheduled have already, built their budgets for the most part, but we're jerking them in sooner than they thought.
No, they had to have it by March 1. They've already
No, I know they already done it.
We're
but
consolidating
We're just
quickly.
pulling it in. So
It's pulling for us. So really you've got
and
one or two.
you're under a gun too.
Well, that's what we've been working on the whole time anyway, because I originally put the April 1 because we didn't know if you guys would get a calendar adopted, so it was the fallback. Now, because of this, if we don't adopt one, it's the same fallback right now. So you really, the point being is, this one trumps your private act, which had these really far out dates, so you really need to adopt
I
a
can't-
calendar or you're gonna go into
I
this.
mean, we can't make any decisions here, but I'm assuming that we will have some, it was on the agenda for tonight.
Mhm.
It'll be on the agenda for Monday, for the full commission, and we can address them.
So my question is, do you want to put on the, just me and you talking, put on the agenda budgetary calendar county commission and have,
Isn't it already on there? I thought it was already.
it's on your agenda here, but it's got this red line thing to discuss tonight. It don't have a good calendar.
Oh, yeah, you can go, I mean,
It don't
I
have a
would think it
calendar.
would be prudent, I can't give you any direction, but I would think it would be prudent to go ahead and have a calendar ready.
Okay, and try to push that April
We're
4th first
talking
day
about
forward.
the full commission.
Yes.
Right, and to go ahead and push your April
We can
1st
agenda
date.
it now, and I can just say it's on there for legal purposes.
That's fine.
So right now, I will work one up to go to the floor, then you guys can amend it in that meeting. But I think your intent right now, what you would want me to do, instead of being this 3/25 and 4/1 date, to use it where other adopted calendars and to push that forward a little bit because of the night.
David, is that the calendar that's in?
Yes.
It is.
So the thing is, and what it says, in absence of locally adopted calendar, which I would assume would have to go to the full commission. The general law says legislative body adopts it, but this is not really clear. I mean,
So then at some point, do we need to have a vote, Eric, to repeal the 81
Yes,
deal?
and for some reason, I think it was tried once and they couldn't get the 2/3 vote needed.
So I can go over the history really quick with the 81. It's been going on way before my time. It's like
Yeah,
a 2-minute
I think
history.
You would want to talk to Mr. Hyatt.
It's a 2-minute history, but I could read through
Long
it.
history.
In the
81 is Before I
1990s,
was alive and.
probably, and I was
No,
in
it's
grade.
for sure.
I was 9 years old. Well, it wasn't adopted back in 81. It was adopted in the late 90s. They never implemented it, so they came in 2001, I believe, and repealed it, adopted the 2002 and 2003 Act. I was here about 6 months under the 2002-3, and they decided to adopt the 1981. Well, the school board and them were not working well together, so they decided at the time they were going to repeal it. They came in and tried to get the repeal. They didn't get the 2/3 vote. So the idea was they created an ad hoc committee, and we all worked together and created a 2012 Act. The intent of the 12 Act was to come up with something everybody could work on and repeal the 12 Act. Right now, what they're telling us,
You
is
repeal the
I'm sorry,
81 Act.
repeal the 81 Act.
Yeah, but it didn't get done.
The act itself does not repeal the 81 Act, so that,
Got it.
All right. We need anything else?
no, but I will work you the calendar and
Thank
put
y'all.
these on there.
Okay.
You guys are the fastest meeting
That was a workshop, not a meeting.
ever. Workshop here.
Now.
I was 2 years away from getting married in 81.
I don't know, what are you gonna say?
I was just